According to ESPN's Tim Bontemps, Donovan Mitchell could be traded next year, which I think is preposterous. I don't think it's happening. They just traded so much. I think, Jared Allen and Darius Garland would be traded before they would trade Donovan Mitchell, in my opinion. But Tim Bontemps says this. He was asked, what player has flown under the radar in free agency but will be a big storyline come this February's trade deadline? Tim Bontemps said Donovan Mitchell. The Cleveland Cavaliers have to try to prove over the next year that it's worth signing Donovan Mitchell long-term, or they'll have to consider moving him with a year left on his deal next offseason. If the Cavaliers struggle next season or don't become a contender, Mitchell's name could come up. No, I don't believe that, Tim. They would trade Darius Garland before they would trade Donovan Mitchell. Am I wrong, guys? Because I think the natural assumption there would be, okay, Donovan Mitchell's a guy who's been a borderline MVP candidate at points of his career. Not saying that he has been, but borderline. And Darius Garland, as much as I love him, you could argue that if you could switch Darius Garland for, now this is tough because I want to say a defensive minded point, but the thought process is here. What if I went and got, Tyus Jones, okay, and Monte Morris, okay, and I had, another guy like, I guess you would say maybe a Bones Highland, like a point guard by committee next to Donovan Mitchell. And two of those guys can't play defense, but the thought process is what if you bring in two guys who aren't worth Darius Garland, who won't cost as much as Darius Garland's contract. Couldn't speak right there. But what he'll be is like a 3-and-D guy. Next 3-and-D pass first guy next to Donovan Mitchell. And you probably could get a shit ton of value for Darius Garland. Recoup some of the value that you lost in the assets that you lost in the Donovan Mitchell trade. I feel like it's feasible. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's going to happen. But I think Darius or Jared Allen is way more likely of getting traded than Donovan Mitchell. Just what they paid for him, it would just be asinine, in my opinion, if they did trade him. And I don't know. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think? I think, Donovan Mitchell is still a really fun guy to watch. And he's still got a tremendous amount of skill. You don't trade those guys.